ce soir, it's you and me, c'est quoi? Je suis, maybe, the only one I need. Bonjour, j'adore, you're all I want and more. Ça va, au revoir, it's only un, deux, trois. Un, deux, trois. Oh my God, we are the wild ones. We only live once. We wanna feel young. All night long, we don't ever wanna stop. C'est moi, ce soir, it's you and me, c'est quoi? Je suis, maybe, the only one I need. Bonjour, j'adore, you're all I want and more. Ça va, au revoir, it's only un, deux, trois. Un, deux, trois. Oh my God, we are the wild
Hi,
ones.
my name is Pam Green, and I have been in the entertainment and fashion industry for over 40 years. And along the way, I have met a lot of fabulous people in this fashion and entertainment world, some of which have gone on to be some of my dearest friends. And I would like to share their stories with you. I want people to see the grit, the class, and the strength that it takes to not only be in this industry, but to have longevity in it. I want to give some insight into what life is really like in this business. This world is not all glitz and glamour, but it certainly can be fulfilling and exciting and sexy and open up incredible opportunities in this life. But there's a lot more than what you see behind those pretty faces. I want to share a bit about their lives after the shoot ends, in the dressing rooms, backstage, behind the scenes, at home, and off the runway.
We are the wild ones. We only live once.
My guest today on Off the Runway is one of my absolute favorite people. She is so down to earth, funny, and definitely will tell you like it is. Our backstage shenanigans and laughs have been many. She has lived and modeled in New York City, Paris, France, and Tokyo, and truly lived what I would consider the wild model life. Now she works her butt off as one of the top models here in Houston, Texas, and is also busy raising her two beautiful boys along with her handsome husband, Josh. To look at her, you assume that because she's beautiful and makes a living at modeling, that she's had this perfect, easy life, and that's far from the truth. I am thrilled to introduce you to my friend and one of the strongest women I know, everyone's favorite redheaded supermodel, Vicki McCarty. Hey, Vicki.
Hey, Pam.
I am so excited to have you here on our 4th episode of Off the Runway.
Thank you for having me.
In between your busy schedule with the kids and modeling, guys, she models all over Houston every single day, sometimes 2 and 3 modeling jobs a day.
Not every day.
Well, almost every day.
I have a day off tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Vicki has a day off.
Woohoo!
Hallelujah. What's
Yeah.
going on?
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for my day off.
So I'm super happy to have you here. And the first question I like to ask everyone on the show is, how did you get your start in modeling? And do you think that modeling has been an easy or a difficult path to choose?
Yes. I don't really know that it was a choice. It kind of was a choice. I feel like modeling chose me because I never wanted to be a model. It was never in my head at all.
Okay.
So there was a show in the mid to late 90s, aging myself here, it was a reality show with a house full of models. And my dad caught me watching it one day. Maybe there was nothing else on or something. And he said, "Oh, so you want to be a model?" And I said, "I would never in my life." I wanted to do fashion design. So I was like, okay. I had my little sketchbook, and watched this show. And I'm like, these guys are interesting, but that's not for me. My neighbor friend and I, we had went to a concert. My parents dropped us off. She and I think I was 15 and she was probably 12. And they had a promotions table, which is, everything is so easy now. You can self-submit on a link. But back in the day, people had to go out and discover talent.
Mm-hmm.
So there was what's called a promotions table where people from Page Parks were out scouting for new talent. And so my friend was like, let's sign up. We should sign up. And I was like, no. And the people at the table were like, oh my gosh, you two should sign up. Let's sign up. I said, fine, whatever. She wants to sign up. We'll sign up. Ended up signing up. They took some pictures. I got a call maybe a week or so later that, hey, out of 350 people, you won this contest. And I said,
what?
My friend's going to be pissed.
Yeah, you're afraid for your friend.
I was like, this is not what I want to do. My friend really kind of was like, hey, let's do this. And here I was. I believe I won a scholarship to the Page Park School.
Wow.
Was what it was.
That's a
Mind
big
you,
deal.
I'm 15. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like, my parents took all those details and phone calls and everything, but
that's how it works back in the day. They would
Yes.
scout for you and look for
Yes.
models and send out scouts to the malls.
Yes.
And that's how most people
Mhm.
back in the 80s and 90s got discovered.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny that you didn't even want to do it. You
No,
just went with
didn't wanna do
your
it.
girlfriend wanted to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, and that's how it happens sometimes. So
Yeah.
that's why we know it was meant to be.
It was meant to. So I say it chose me, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, sticking with it, obviously, I've chosen to stick with
I mean,
it.
yeah,
so.
obviously your whole entire life you've made a living at it,
Sure.
pretty much.
Quite a few years, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it doesn't look like you're going to stop anytime soon.
Well, you know, no.
No reason to. Why?
I never made any other plans, you know? I have ventured off a few times.
Yeah.
But you know, this was always something that you could do part-time, and I've never had a full-time 9 to 5. That's not in my DNA. So this was always something that I could do and have
Mhm.
done. And
So do you think that modeling was a difficult or an easy path to choose?
was it difficult or easy?
Hmm.
Choosing it at 15 years old, it was not difficult because it was cool.
Right. You're 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, sure, I guess. Let's do it. But staying with it for so long, it has, you know, ebbs and flows, and it has been difficult at points. And there are times where it's been really easy. And, but I mean, it's a choice to make it easy or choice to make it difficult. And sometimes I'm difficult. I'm not gonna lie. But it's been fun.
It's a lot of work.
It
You know,
is.
I like to
is.
impress upon people that when I ask if it's easy life to choose or difficult life to choose, I think sometimes people are under the impression it's an easy job.
Which it's not.
It's a very difficult job, and it takes a lot of thinking and a lot of driving and a lot of what I call schlepping.
Yes.
You know,
Schlepping.
packing a bag and
Yeah.
different things and always being prepared and having the right hair and makeup. And it's more than people realize.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that you always have to be in a good mood and be smiling and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Even when you don't feel like
Yes.
it. So it's putting on a little bit of a show.
Yeah. It's not that physical preparation all the time. A lot of it's mental too. Like, yeah, for sure.
So you started with Page Parks and you've
I
been with them
did.
ever since. That in Houston, Texas.
Mhm.
But where were you born and raised? Where did you grow up?
I was born in Baytown, Texas. My older sister and I, and my parents moved. I think I was probably like 6 months old when they moved out to Conroe. So I don't remember Baytown. I was just born there. But yeah, my grandparents lived out in Conroe, and I'm assuming that's why my parents moved out this way. I'm not sure. And then my dad still lives in my childhood home, the home I moved to when I was 4, and he still lives out there. And
Wow.
it's in between Conroe and Cleveland on 105, if you know where that is. And it is country. It is horses, cows. There were buffalo that lived at the end of our street. And
Me
you know,
too.
isn't that so random?
We had a herd of buffalo when I grew up. I grew up in a tiny small town too.
Yeah.
And people go, what? And I'm like, yeah.
Seriously.
And I think that's when they were super endangered too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And now they raise them and kill them like the cattle and
I know.
put them in the grocery stores. I
I
know it's
know.
sad.
Yeah.
But okay, so you grew up in Conroe and that's where you were when you got discovered.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And from there, what happened from there? So you got discovered, you go through the modeling school and you start modeling?
Wow.
You were
Okay.
15.
So I had spoken, to Page Parks. My parents had spoken to them, and my mom, I don't know how it really happened, but my mom was like, hey, we're going to go to Miami. We're going to test with some photographers, maybe talk to some agencies out there. She and I went out to Miami, and it was my first plane ride ever. And I was like
Wow.
super excited. My mom and just me and my mom, I got to take her away for that weekend because I do have 2 sisters and my dad, so
Aw.
it was just her and I. And she was very excited about it. And so we went and tested and met some people. And Paige Parks was like, no, absolutely not. We'll sign her right now before she even finishes the school.
Oh, okay.
She's ours.
So they heard that basically you
Yes.
were going to go shoot,
Yeah.
and they got a little worried that maybe you would get taken by an
Yes.
agency out there.
Yes.
That's interesting. I mean, you were a hot commodity, obviously.
I'm
just saying.
I had bright red hair,
Uh-huh.
these big, huge,
Lips.
chubby lips, and
Yeah.
all the porcelain skin with freckles. And
Yeah. That was kind of the look they were looking for back then. When I think back on it, and I looked at some of your younger pictures, which we're going to show on the show, which are so cute. I mean, you're so cute. I swear you look like you're 11 in those pictures where you're 15 in your first shoot.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a look that was very much desired then.
Yes.
So yeah, it was so cute. I would have taken you.
Yeah. Thank you, Pam.
I saw them. They're adorable.
Yeah. So, I mean, we came back from Miami. Like, we weren't there long. And I believe I signed with them. And
At 15.
At 15 years old.
Okay.
I signed with Paige Parks. And
You started working right away?
well, I mean, I was still going to school, and as
High
a brand
school.
new model, you
Yeah.
kind of do the hair shows and the things like that.
Yeah.
And the things, I actually had to be part of the promotions team. So I was that person that was out looking for people like me. And just so you know, I was such a very shy person.
Shocker. I'm shocked.
In elementary school, I would literally get taken to the office for not verbally saying the word here when they would do roll call. They would take me to the office. I remember my uncle having to come pick me up one time because they were like, Vicki won't talk. And it's like, take me
Because you
home.
wouldn't say here.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you know me now, I mean, I can talk to about anybody.
I still think you're shy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I...
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know somebody, but you're like a relatively shy human.
Shy or introverted.
Yeah, maybe that.
Or maybe it's like, I talk too much at work. I'm done.
I know. I told our producer earlier, I go, this is a big deal. I got Vicki out at night, not at home, not at a baseball game with her family, but out to do something outside of work or family.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. So, but I know you did something big right after that. So you're 15.
Yes.
You go to what they call, I know you went to an agent review,
with Paige Parks.
which is something they do once a year to try to get other agents from other cities and countries to come in and look at the talent. And you went to that at that very young, fresh age. And what happened there?
So I went to agent review in the summer of 1999 or May of 99, and I got a lot of callbacks. And so when we had my agent review meeting, my mom came in with me, and Paige was there, and I believe Tabitha was also there because she's been there since day one. Tabitha.
I started modeling with Tabitha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started modeling, and then before Tabitha, and then Tabitha started modeling. I'm like, who's this beautiful girl coming on in with her brown hair? Because we were kind of similar looking. But I thought she was just absolutely stunning. I mean, she looked like a brick shield.
Yes.
I mean, I would say, and literally photographed so beautiful.
Yes.
But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so Paige, Tabitha, my mom, and I had a little say in it. They decided
you had to say good
a little bit. They decided that Tokyo was the best place for me at that time. I was only 5'7" at 15, and with the bright red hair, and so I finished that my sophomore year of high school, and then that summer I took off to Tokyo. I was just barely 16 years old, and
wow. Going to Tokyo.
Coming from small town, 900 people to
that's a
Tokyo,
big deal.
Japan. Yeah. I mean, now my parents did have my grandmother come with me, which was, she and I bonded over that. She still talks about it to this day. And
she's still here with you, right?
Yes. So it's technically my step grandmother. So she's a little younger.
Thank God she went with you. I mean, you were just barely 16. You were a child.
Yes.
So we're lucky that she went with you. I mean, I think that's important when and I'll say that to anybody that's planning on sending their children out to model to other countries. If you can't go with them at 15, 16, even 17, you might not want to go. You might not want to send them, even if it's a great opportunity.
And I remember the agency trying to take my passport, and my grandmother was like, absolutely not. I'm a responsible adult. I will hold on to it for her.
There you go.
Like, see? Looking back on it, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, they would have taken your passport, and then you're trapped there.
And then you're trapped there, yeah, for sure. So
what did she do? Did she go on castings with you every day? Did she go on all your jobs with you?
She hung out at the apartment and walked around the city a little.
But wait, you went on all the castings by yourself?
They had an agency van drive us around.
Okay, Tokyo.
Tokyo was the most amazing place. I would get
that's different.
massages, facial and head massages at every booking. They drove us around everywhere. You never had to do anything on your own.
Okay, what? I went to all the wrong places.
Yes. Yeah.
Ours was like, here's a map, the old-timey maps where it just actually have to look at the streets, and then you had to get on the trains by yourself, and then you had to figure out where the hell you were. So Tokyo, they drove you around in a van.
Now, if they still do that, I don't know. But back in the day, they did.
I could never go there because I was always too big.
Yeah, too tall.
Yeah.
If you're over a certain height.
Yeah, they did not want any girls over 5'8", and they basically didn't want any girls that looked like they were older than 15, and they didn't want anybody that was, not scrawny.
Yes.
They wanted you scrawny because obviously in the Asian countries, it's very small and petite humans. And so their samples are small. The designers make small samples and small clothes, and they fit on shorter people. So it's very difficult when you were like, 5'10", and you were already kind of curvy at a young age. That was they were like, no, too big.
No.
Big girl.
Yeah. And they love Texans. I remember being on a job with some people, they couldn't speak English well, and she drew out a cactus. I said, oh, it's a cactus. And they said, where from? Where from? And I said, Texas? And they, Texas! So I was like...
You were like, oh, boy.
Texas.
So, yeehaw.
It was very interesting. I had so much fun there. Yeah,
that's awesome. So you worked a lot at that young age?
After going on about a week or so of castings, I worked... almost every day, if not every other day.
Girl.
Magazine shoots all the time. They would take us off for editorials out at Mount Fuji. I went and shot there twice.
Girl, do you have any of that stuff? Because I would love to show some. I know, that's what happens.
So much easier back in the day when you actually had to get the tear sheets. I do have some, but they're probably copies of the actual tear sheets. And over the years, they've just kind of, stuck
they
together.
Disintegrate. I've got a bunch of, I've got 2 vats of disintegrated photos from the 80s. Yeah. And I've lost 4 or 5, books over the years.
Sure,
and then people are like, well, where are all your pictures? I'm like, oh, I don't know. It was an actual photo that got lost. Who knows where that negative was in a box that got melted in storage somewhere in some city in the United States. So, okay, you go over there, and how long are you in Tokyo?
I'm there for a couple months, 2 months, 2.5 months.
And you're working, and you're just like, that was kind of your first experience of working a lot, obviously, because you just got signed at 15, and then you're doing a few little gigs here, but then you go to Tokyo and you're doing all this big stuff.
And I had no idea. I had no idea. It's not the age of social media where you can just look somebody up and say, oh, this is who this is, and this is what this client is. And, I'm like, okay, let's go. I don't know what I'm doing, but take me where I have to go, and I'll smile for your photos.
You're paying me.
You're paying me.
I'll go. You need me head massage.
Sure, right.
Oh my gosh, I might
so spoiled.
Yeah, wow. So spoiled, well, we have to go back, and you have to show me around Tokyo. I've never been there. My brother lives in China, and he always goes to Tokyo. Yeah. So they go on vacation all the time. Yeah. So anyway, maybe we can go visit my brother.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for sure.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah.
And so then you go to Tokyo with your grandmother. Thank you, grandmother.
Yes, thank you, grandma.
And then you come back to Houston. And what are you doing now? So you come back and model, and you're go back to school?
Not so much so. Because my parents were like, you need to get back in school, because I'd missed about a month of school. And, public school. They're like, hey, get back in school. I did that. I worked a little bit here and there, not much, because, public school is very, where are you at? You need to be in school.
Right. So, don't be absent.
So I did, my principals at the time, they worked with me whenever I had to go out of town or something, but it was like, hey, you're here, let's go to school.
But then I know something tragic happened during that time when you came back from Tokyo. Yeah. And I am such a baby. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try very hard not to cry.
Okay, and if you're going to cry, it's going to make me cry.
I'm sorry.
I'm a very empathetic person, so your emotions get on me.
I know. I'm the same way. I can just think about a story and get emotional.
Yeah.
And so I'm warning you now, but I have tissue here.
Okay, good.
Hiding in the couch.
In my side too?
And no, but I will hand it to you. I didn't know if you would cry. I'm a crier. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. I know you come back, you're in high school, you're young, you're 16, and then something tragic happened within your family.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me what happened, or?
Yeah. So I came back around late August, September. And my parents run a family-owned convenience store. My father's grandfather built a small convenience store with one arm in the 1950s.
Wow. That's so cool.
A lot of people in our family had run the store, and my parents at that time had been running it for maybe gosh, I'm guessing 6 years or so, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I get back around September. 2 months later, my mom is shot and killed by somebody who is coming to rob her. They end up killing each other. So, I mean,
oh my goodness.
I guess that's like instant karma. I'm a huge believer in karma, and
Yeah.
you're going to get what you got. And it was just.
So a perpetrator comes in and they're planning on robbing this convenience store, and your mom is manning the convenience store at this time.
Yes.
And she obviously has a weapon.
Yes.
So he pulls a weapon on her, and I guess she finds a weapon. And
so the thing is, my mom was a very no nonsense, would give you the shirt off her back.
Right.
You know, all the guy had to do was be like, hey, I need some money. She would have been like.
Little did he know, she would have been like, here you go, and some chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it is one of those things. It's a Friday night, and he comes around a corner. There's a mirror to where you could, those big circle mirrors that you see in convenience stores, so you have a great view of the whole place.
Yeah.
She could see him coming, and she, from what I understand, I have never seen the tape. My father has seen it. I don't ever want to see it.
You just,
he pulls something from his coat, which was a sawed-off shotgun. So she reaches underneath her counter to grab her weapon, and he comes up and comes around the corner and, pulls a gun towards her. And I think she's like, no, sir. And shoots him a couple times. He doesn't go down because I think there were some things in his system that didn't make him automatically drop.
Oh.
He proceeds to assault her.
Oh my gosh, after he's been shot twice?
Yes. Take her gun, and I believe shot her 2 or 3 times in the face. And she died instantly, from what I
well, thank goodness.
Understand.
Mm-hmm.
But the real kicker is his gun wasn't loaded. Yeah. Had she just been like, here you go, she'd still be here.
Oh my gosh.
But she would
very
never
have known that.
She would have never known.
Right.
Right. 100%. And my mom was a very much like, you're not going to mess with me. You're not going to mess with my family.
Right.
This is my livelihood.
Right. And then also she's thinking, I've got a family at home.
Yeah, I've got
3 girls, and I'm not going down over this dumb guy with a sawed-off shotgun, which, by the way, looks super ominous. It doesn't look like you're going to get missed.
Exactly.
With that. So she was like, I'm not going to let you take my life. But ironically,
ultimately.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing, as you know me, I'm not a very lovey, touchy kind of... Yeah. Touch is not my love language.
Yeah. She doesn't like to be touched. I like to touch her. She doesn't like it. I've learned. Yeah.
So that night, my sister and I may have, my older sister and I may have fibbed a little bit on which group of friends' house we were going to that night to hang out with. So my older sister and I weren't at home when my dad got the phone call and everything, which, I mean, it's like I said, things happen for a reason.
Right. We
went to a separate set of friends' house, but I remember talking to her on my sister's cell phone before we left the house, and I stopped and I said, hey, Mom. She's like, yeah. I said, I love you.
Oh.
And that was it. So. See, like, that's the kind of thing that'll make me emotional.
Yeah.
Like, something told me to, like, stop and tell her, hey, I love you. And she said, hey, I love you, Vic. And that was the last time I talked to her.
Well, I love that you had that opportunity to say that to her.
Yeah.
Because, you don't want those regrets where you're like, when's the last time I told my mom I loved her? But you told her.
That was the last thing I said to her. So.
Wow. God must have been just ready to take her home.
Yeah.
That's how I always believe it.
She lived very fast paced. My grandma was the one that went to Tokyo with me.
Yeah.
With me. She said, your mother just went go, 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 go.
Who does that sound like? Huh?
And that's why I think sometimes you need to slow down because is it am I following the same path? And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Well, she sounds like she was a great lady.
Oh, for
just
sure.
Just that she was
100%.
go, go, go wasn't a bad thing, but
she just lived her life fast because maybe her plan, that was her plan. You know? So
she was busy.
She didn't know.
She had stuff to do.
And I, in my life, have never seen a church so full.
Oh,
like it was insane. Like Christmas service at church
was nothing like this.
Nothing compared to her funeral.
Well, that's awesome. That shows how much she was loved.
Yeah. And people still talk about her today. I'll run into some people that would come in the store and they're like, man, I just miss your mom. I'm like, hey, you and me both.
Oh, I love that you still have that happen. Yeah. Well, you'll see her one day.
I know.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Okay. I'm not going to cry. But now I want to ask you about, I know you have a sister at home that is handicapped mentally and physically, correct?
Yes.
And so after this happened with your mom, I'm sure that threw your family home life into a tizzy.
For sure.
Because now you have lost
She was
your
the
mom.
rock. Yeah.
And then you have to take care of a sister that's handicapped. So how did that affect your home life? Like, tell me just how that affected home life after that.
Okay. So my older sister, she's my best friend. Hey, best friend. We weren't best friends growing up, but we are. She's 15 months older than me, and we're pretty close. So she and I helped. I mean, my parents obviously were there, but they were both working parents.
Yeah.
We also helped take care of our little sister. She's 4 years younger than me. And it's hard, but that's all we knew,
Yeah.
She, like I said, she was born when I was 4, my sister was 5, and she was our little baby. We could always play with her. We'd always make her laugh. We could do silly things and she would laugh and have a good time, but we were also responsible as we got a little bit older. Hey, can you feed Stacy? Hey, can you change Stacy's diaper? Hey, can you make sure that she's not getting into anything? So we always had that responsibility of taking care of her to a certain extent. I mean, obviously my parents took care of her
mostly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a shocker, but at the same time, there was no longer your mom there to do it.
Yeah.
And then was your dad, did he step in and do more, or was he helpful, or did it feel like you guys became, the women of the house?
My older sister became the woman of the house.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens.
For her every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's the one I'll get most emotional over. So.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't get enough credit for everything she's ever done. So, yeah.
Well,
I love you.
That's so awesome. Well, you had a strong sister just like your mom.
Yes.
And just like you. And thank God that your little sister and your dad have you guys.
Yeah.
Because I know you're still there for your dad all the time.
Yes,
and I know you still have a strong relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
And
I want your tissues.
Yeah. Yes. I have a tissue here that was for me. I'm
Can I
so
have
glad
half of it?
it's for you.
Give me half of it.
I have another one. Mine's not as pretty. You can have mine.
Yeah. So, growing up, my dad had a difficult life, not the easiest. So, when that tragedy happened with my mom, I think it kind of set him off.
Yeah.
So, even having us around, I think he kind of started doing his own thing,
Checked out just a little bit.
He checked out.
Yeah.
But he lost his wife.
Yeah.
We lost our mom.
Yeah.
My aunt lost her sister.
Yeah.
Her parents lost their daughter. So, I mean, but I feel like you kind of think of yourself in those situations.
You're grieving and you're thinking of yourself.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, Dad, we're still here,
Yeah.
I mean,
your kids are still here.
Yeah, my older sister is 17. I'm 16. Stacy's 12. And Stacy actually regressed quite a bit when my mom passed away because she started walking when she was 10 or so. And my mom died when she was 12, so she stopped walking.
Oh no.
She would sign mama, mama, and we couldn't explain to her where she was.
Yeah.
I mean, so heartbreaking. That's like the most heartbreaking thing about it all.
Yeah. Because you're grieving, and here's your little sister grieving in her own way, and you can't even explain to her, and she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
That had to be like the hardest.
Oh my God, heartbreak,
Oh my goodness.
So, it was hard.
Yeah.
Still, and then still trying to be a kid, still trying to live a life, still trying to work.
And you'd already been to Tokyo modeling. I mean, my gosh, you'd already had this big life, and then you come home, you have a tragedy happen within the family. You're trying to go to high school, help take care of your little sister. Your dad sounds like he, a little bit checked out or fell apart just a little bit, understandably.
Yeah, understandably.
And then after that, you continued modeling, correct?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
A little slowly through that finishing high school
time.
Because, we got to get through it one day at a time.
Right.
And, I ended up going to agent review again my senior year.
Okay, and the agent review is again where they go and look at models to see if they want to take them to other countries or if other agents from other big cities in the United States want to take the girls to do, I guess, big
take
things.
Them to their market and have them
And so what happened at this agent review? That's your senior year?
That's
you were
my senior year.
17?
Yes. I was 17.
Okay, now you're 17, a big old 17.
Big old 17-year-old. Yeah, so I attended agent review again and got quite a few callbacks again and decided that Paris was going to be the option for me.
Oh, Paris.
That's what I thought I was going to do. I did apply to a few colleges. I was going to go to Sam Houston, just up the road from my house. I did have a tuition check in hand. I was driving around Huntsville. It was during the summer, so it was dead. And I got lost because I had no GPS, and I was like, this isn't it. This is not the place for me. I can't be here. I went back home. I called my grandparents. I said, look, do you want your check back? Or you want me to rip it up and throw it in the trash? Because I can't. This isn't the life I want to be. Not right now.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm gonna go live in Paris. So I took off, and part of me, at the time I didn't really realize, but I really left my older sister with a lot to deal with.
Mm.
But like I said, I was thinking of me, and I had to get out. Like I couldn't live with the sadness all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, emotionally, maybe that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
So even though you were thinking about yourself, God plays a part in all that too. Yeah. So you maybe needed to go.
Oh, I needed to get out.
Yeah. To kind of heal a little bit and just get out of that, like you said, that negative space.
Yeah. I think it all went more negative before it ever got positive. For sure.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
well, you go to Paris. That's huge. So I tell everyone, like, Paris isn't the easiest place in the world to model. If you go to Paris, you are wanted in Paris. If you are taken by an agency in Paris, you're wanted in Paris.
Yes.
And obviously, they saw this beautiful, freckled, redheaded girl at a young age that looked younger than she was. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And so you go to Paris, and then how was Paris? Tell me how modeling in Paris was.
Looking back on it, I had the best time.
Okay.
Being in it was very much a whirlwind. I did not speak French.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people in Europe, anywhere but America, speak English because we're the lazy ones, On my way to my apartment, actually, I left the airport, had to find my way to my agency, go get one of those maps you're talking about. And
where am I?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to take a taxi, so I figured out how to take the subway with my 2 huge suitcases, and I'm leaving one down at the bottom of the staircase, taking the other one up, going back down, going to get my other luggage.
Yeah, no elevators,
this is a lot, this city.
You're like, where's my head massage?
Where's my van? Somebody?
Yeah, no. This is like, boop, they kick you out, and they're like, figure it out, kiddo.
Figure out your life here. So I go to my agency, and they're like, hey, you need to get to your apartment, unpack, your roommates will be there later after their castings, I took a taxi one of my agents put me in a taxi and told them where to take me.
Yeah.
And
a model's apartment,
yes,
right?
A model's apartment. Yes. And I get out, and I didn't know that the floors there start on floor 0, not floor 1, like here in America.
Yeah.
I'm trying to unlock my door on what I think is floor 3. I'm like, my key doesn't work. There's nobody here. I can't speak the language. I don't know how to call anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to go home.
So you eventually somehow figure out you're supposed to be 1 floor up.
A roommate came. They were like, oh, are you so-and-so? I said, yes. Are you my roommate? And they said, yes. They let me in. I went, oh, not this floor? They said, no, the next floor up. And I finally figured out how the floor started, floor 0. And
so I know a lot of people that aren't in the modeling industry don't know, but you live in these model apartments. So when you travel to these other cities, generally they will set you up in an apartment where all the other models that are coming from all over the world are in this apartment. And usually you have one little bed, and it's usually 4 or 5 people to a room. It depends on the place and the country, but I found that it was always like 3 or 4 people to a room in these little single beds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So was it like that there?
It was very similar. We had one open area living space, and I had a bed in this corner. She had a bed in this corner. The girl who'd been there longest had her own bedroom. We had one bathroom, and ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee. So did you work in Paris? Did you do some work? You did.
I did.
Wow, that's great.
I think I started off, I got there right for Paris Fashion Week. And it was 17 castings a day.
Yeah.
And you better find your way around the city and make it to all of these castings.
Yeah.
At first, I thought they were kind of optional.
You're like, I'll go. I'll see if I have time for those.
Well, I mean, nobody told me, hey, make it to every single one in this order, figure out how to get there. Sometimes you're waiting there for an hour or 2. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make it to 17. What are they thinking? So I get back to my apartment, and somebody calls, and they're like, can we talk to Vicki? And they're like, well, why didn't you go to this casting? You were specifically requested. I said, I didn't have time. And they're like, what do you mean you didn't have time? And I was like, I didn't have time. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out a better way and manage my time better.
Yeah.
And I would go to the agency. I would get my castings for the next day, and I would sit at the agency until I wrote which one I had to go to first, second,
Which
third,
one was
fourth.
closer on the train
Yes.
or whatever
And
you were
with the
taking.
times and everything, man, I'm telling you, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, and that's another thing, about modeling. People don't know. You go to these countries and they're like, "Oh, you went to Paris to model. It sounds really fancy."
Yeah.
Well, 15 castings later, or 5 castings in a day, you're schlepping around the city.
Yes.
Your feet hurt. You're lost.
hungry.
It's hot. You're starving. You usually look like crap by the time you get
for
to the
sure.
next place. You've either
sure.
sweated or you had a beanie cap on because you were
'Cause
freezing.
it was freezing.
And you look scary, and you get there, and then you're waiting with another, 30
Your
people.
competition who is all staring you down, and you're like, I have no friends.
Yeah,
Help.
exactly. A bunch of other models speaking a bunch of other languages that are there to
Yeah.
get the same gig.
Yeah.
And then you get back out on the
Off to the
street
next.
and you're off to the next casting.
Mhm.
So, and then you get a couple, maybe. You get
Yeah.
maybe one, maybe you don't get any.
Maybe you don't get any.
And you do this every single day, usually while you're in another country modeling. And so
until you
it's
start working.
interesting. Yeah. Until people just start booking you, casting directors or somebody starts saying, "Hey, I like that redheaded girl. Let's use her."
And before, that was my first fashion week. Whenever I was here in Houston,
Mhm.
like I'm telling you, I was still about 5'7". So I didn't do a lot of fashion shows early on in my life. And I mean, I only made it up
You
to
grew
5'9".
late.
I did grow late.
Wow.
And I am short for a model. I'm 5'9". Like that's the bare minimum in a lot of places for a runway model. And well, back in the day, I mean, sure, it's a little more diverse now, but I was short. I would be standing around, and still I stand around all you guys, and I'm like,
"Hey, shorty."
Hey,
Yeah, I'm going to call you shorty from now on.
So yeah, I mean, it was intimidating,
Mhm.
being around all these beautiful girls from these other countries, and I don't know what they're saying, but they sound so amazing. And I'm just like, we're here to try to work together or compete for jobs.
Right.
And it was.
You're like,
it was
bonjour.
bonjour, hire me, please. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So
but
you
it
did
was a lot
Fashion
of-
Week. So tell me, this is a big
I
deal.
did. Yeah, I
You
did.
did
a couple
Fashion
of
Week. So
Paris
you did
Fashion Weeks.
You did Paris Fashion Weeks.
Yeah.
That's
Nothing-
incredible.
Yes. For
Tell me
local, smaller designers,
Right.
because I was only 5'9", and I, didn't have the strong enough walk because I'd never done a lot of runway back home.
Not any old designer is in Paris Fashion Week. Let's be clear. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that not just anybody can be in Paris Fashion Week as far as the designers go.
Yes.
So you did Paris Fashion Week. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I never did Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
So that's very impressive to me. I worked in the countries where I knew I was going to work.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Spain, Germany, like wherever that was, I worked more in those other
Yeah.
countries where I kind of knew that Paris was a lot more hardcore as
Yes.
far as I was concerned, with competition and
for
that,
sure.
that kind of thing, because you had fashion,
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's so impressive to me. So how long were you there?
I was in Paris back and forth because I came home for Christmas holidays and stuff. A little over 6 months, I think.
Oh, wow.
And I got lonely. I got so lonely because my roommates would come and go, because a lot of people come for Fashion Week and then they take off to the next city.
They go to the next country. Really, there's a circuit.
Yeah, you follow the
there's
circuit.
There's a circuit that all the models do,
And I wasn't following the circuit. I was
staying in Paris
because I was like, I'm going to do this Paris thing for a little bit. And it died down a little bit right after Fashion Week, but then you start going on other types of castings, and it was like, boom, magazine here.
Oh, that's great.
Campaigns with the most famous photographer I'd ever shot with. And I was like, who is this lady? And they're like, you don't know who she is. And I said, absolutely do not know who she is. Can you tell me? I'm like, we didn't have social media.
Right.
Like, I couldn't just look somebody
You didn't
up.
just know everything about fashion, especially when you start so young.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember this photographer's name?
Yeah. Her name was Ellen von Unworth. She,
I know that name.
Yeah. And she still shoots to this day.
Yeah.
Does a lot of amazing things. Very like burlesque type shooting. And the shots I have with her, I did a Miss 60 campaign, is very like false eyelashes, huge curly hair. I had acrylic toenails on, like these very pretty, like beautiful shots. And I love her work. And I had no idea who she was.
I want to see those too. Yeah. Where are these pictures?
I have
You've sent me some pictures,
phone.
but now that you're telling me these other stories, I'm like, okay, I know that there's some other
and there's
photos
a lot,
I want to see.
A lot of photos I never got because,
of course, back in the day, because again, it wasn't digital.
Yeah, and you leave the country and nobody thinks to send you.
Yeah. And you did a commercial and I never saw the commercials.
Oh my
You're just
gosh,
like, I did a commercial in that country. You're like, Wonder where that is.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of times people leave before their material comes out and you never see it.
Right, that's true. And no one's trying to get it to you.
Oh my gosh, no, not
If
at
someone
all.
happens to see the tear or you're there however many months later that it comes out.
Yeah.
Don't even know what it was used for half the time. I'm like, I wonder what that was for.
Yeah, 100%.
That's incredible. So you do Fashion Week, you work in with these big photographers or designers.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the life there with the models, because I want to get to this a little bit, because the truth is a lot of the models here have traveled and have experienced this model life, but a lot of the models haven't. And not to the extreme, because they went for a month or they were a little bit more protected as far as like they didn't experience model life. But you were a little younger than a lot of the other girls that worked. I went and worked in Europe from like, in other countries from like 19 to 30, and of course I lied about my age.
Of course.
All the way up until my last year working overseas. I'm like, I'm 26. They're like, I'm like, I am. No. But my point is, you were actually 16 and 17 at these places. So tell me a little bit about what that was like at an immature, because sorry, you're still so immature.
Oh, for sure.
In your brain.
Everything, but...
And you're thrown out to now, okay, you're with mom, dad, 3 sisters, and you're in high school, and now you're in Paris in a mom's apartment with freedom.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that freedom and how that affected you, and what advantage you took of that. Tell me.
Too much freedom.
Too much freedom. I know. I want to hear about it.
Too much freedom at times, really. So yeah, the models' apartments, like I said, you have your roommates coming in and out. You get lonely. Then you just start to kind of venture out. What can I do? What can I do in my free time, which is typically at night? What's open at night? Bars, clubs, party scene. And I know that but other people don't know that there are people that are actually paid to take models out to clubs and to dinners and to have pretty girls come into these clubs so they're more desirable for other people to come into. And I kind of fell in with that some. And alcohol was not allowed in my house. Growing up. My father had an issue with alcohol. My mom wouldn't allow it.
Okay.
And so I was never around. I was not around any type of alcohol growing up.
Yeah.
And those that know me know I had an issue. I had a few years worth of, she's a different girl. And thankfully I grew out of it. But that's where it started. Like,
well, yeah, you're this kid that someone's like, oh, you want to go to this club and you want some free alcohol. And you're like, alcohol? Sure. I was never allowed to have that.
I just want to go out. I'm bored. There's nobody at my apartment. I want to go somewhere.
Well, yeah. You're young. You want to have fun. You have freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one more thing that people don't realize. Yeah, everybody wants a pretty person at a bar, but it's a plan, and you're invited, and they actually send or call the modeling agencies, and the agencies will know like special nights at the clubs or things that are going on. There'll be invites. They'll invite the girls and say, hey, there's a special thing going on at this place or this club or this restaurant, and would you like to go?
Of course.
And of course you're like, oh, this is exciting. They want me to go.
Right?
Free food.
I'm hungry
for the starving model. Yeah. So that was, so you party. So you partook in this fun in Paris.
Yes.
I wouldn't blame you though.
Yeah.
It's Paris.
My first experience with alcohol was in a club with 2 of my fellow agency models, 2 guys from Switzerland. And I'm like, I'm hanging out with my friends from Switzerland. And what's this? Yeah, sure. Pour me a glass. I don't know. Oh no, don't mix that tonic water with it. I don't like tonic water. So here I am sipping on a cup of straight vodka going, this is awful. But I don't want to look like an idiot because I've never been around alcohol. And
yeah, so you want to be cool.
Yeah, because I'm just meeting these people. I don't want to.
You don't want to be uncool,
like
so you're just sipping on straight vodka. How'd that go?
Oh my God, not good.
Not good.
I was like, I really have to go to the bathroom. Can somebody please take me? Because I don't know how to get there. And I don't know if I could get there.
Oh, no.
So these guys were like, I'm sure they were just like, this girl. Thankfully, they were genuinely nice people.
Oh, thank goodness.
That's the thing.
Thank goodness.
Oh my God. There's so many times where, thank the Lord, I made it through the night.
Right. And nobody took advantage because there's a lot, obviously advantage that goes on.
For sure.
And in the industry too.
Yes.
And with partying and drinking, a lot of times they'll try to get you to drink or party on a photo shoot or, so that is not a good scenario. Obviously young person, brain's not fully developed. there's some alcohol floating around, at a young age
Very
that back in the States is a little different.
Oh, yeah. Because I think I was just 18. I just turned 18 and living in Paris. And
yeah.
Why not?
Did you have any bad thing happen in Paris besides the certain circumstances where you were young and partying and probably shouldn't have had that much alcohol? Did you recall anyone trying to take advantage of you that didn't happen, or just get you to maybe shoot something in a different way than you wanted to? I always talk to people. I ended up going in supposed to, shoot like a whole outfit, and I ended up like in my bra and in panties and something. I'm like, what did I just do? But you're young, and sometimes I'm just saying sometimes that happens.
Oh, for sure.
Did you feel at that young age moments where you're like, what?
Yes, 100%. And like I said, being so shy growing up, and then it's just you and the photographer, and it's a late night, and it's already sketch anyway, because it's just you and the photographer at night in his studio apartment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean I'm just supposed to wear these
tiny underwear
with floral arrangement glued to it? And you're going to put some flowers under my eyes and no shirt? You said no shirt. Okay, I guess let's do it for art.
Yeah, because that's what people don't get. You're young and you're entering the modeling industry, and when you're young and entering the modeling industry, you don't know what you're supposed to do or not supposed to do. And when they tell you this is modeling, this is what you're supposed to do, that's where you have that moment in your brain where I don't quite feel right. My gut's telling me something's a little funky, but you go with it because you're like,
but my agency sent me here, so it should be fine, right?
Yeah, you're assuming should be fine, right?
You're assuming because you're so naive and you think they have your best interests, and
and they don't always.
Yeah,
and that's one of my big things that makes me aggravated about the modeling industry, because there's no one there watching out for those young girls.
No.
And it sounds like there's some girls have taken advantage of way farther than just ended up in a cute underwear and some flowers.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that go on in this industry like that. That it just upsets me. I was lucky enough to where I didn't have anything really bad happen, but I just remember lots of times where same situation. Yeah. What am I wearing? What am I doing? What?
Yeah, it's crazy. But
it is.
You just kind of go along with it. And did I ever see those photos? No. Did they sell them? I'm sure.
I don't know if they even sold them. Sometimes I wondered about all that. A lot of it's free test shoots. A lot of it's a photographer wanted to do a shoot. And they're calling to get these models to go do these test shoots. I just think it's for the damn photographer.
Oh, probably.
Whether he uses it for something or not, that's why you end up in your underwear with flowers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So,
but nothing. I think that was the only one that really stuck out when I was in Paris.
Right.
That kind of happened.
Right. But there's moments like that happen that you probably don't even remember. Because I did thousands of jobs, right? Yeah. I just remember a few that really like, what am I doing?
Well, let's go.
What? I'm supposed to wear a suit. Why am I in my underwear? But you had a good time still. Yeah. So you come back from Paris and now you're 17 and a half.
Yeah.
And are you still in high school, or at that point
I had already graduated?
You had already graduated. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you came back to Houston and you come back and you go back to live at home at that point?
I came home for holidays. I was here a couple weeks and then took back off and lived in Paris again. And
you went back to Paris. Okay.
And, I'd started smoking by this time. My sister picked me up from the airport. I was like, I need a cigarette. She goes, no, you do not. And I was like, okay, let's go home. So I went back to Paris, finished working for a few more months and then came back home, and I was like, let's do something at home. So I enrolled in community college, took some basic classes, started working here again, and mostly print work still.
Okay. And were you still 5'6"?
I was 5'. I had made it to 5'9".
You made it to 5'9". 5'9".
Woohoo! I hit my peak. So I was doing a lot of castings, a lot of test shoots here and bookings here, and it was fun. I was working quite a bit while going to school. It was back in the day where, JCPenney's headquartered in Dallas. Yeah. They would fly me. Best. Yes. They would fly me to Dallas for the day. And I'm like, but look, I live an hour north of Houston. Can I just drive? Yeah. And they're like, but we're flying you. So drive an hour to Houston, wait an hour for your flight, then fly an hour. And then I'm like,
but that was the best because JCPenney's did a lot of print, and obviously print pays better than Runway typically. For sure. And so everybody wanted those print jobs. Yeah. I remember I did tons of JCPenney's, and it was so exciting because I did mostly all their bras and panties. Yeah. Because I was curvy. Yeah. But anyway, that was the part of it I did.
Yeah.
So, but that was exciting for us because you'd get JCPenney's, you'd be like, cha-ching.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, in your
and
mind.
being a college student, I'm like, cha-ching, let's go party.
So you were taking a few college classes, modeling, going up to Dallas doing JCPenney's, and then what did you do? Because I know you traveled again, you moved again to model.
A little bit later on, maybe a year or two, maybe I was 21.
Okay.
Again, so 3 years later.
So you're modeling here in town, and then you go at 21 to
New York.
Okay.
New York. 21 years old. I had spoken with Tabitha and I said, hey, I'm ready to kind of get out of here again. And she said, let's set you up some appointments in New York. No agent review this time. So
at this point, you had tons of pictures. You had worked in Paris and Tokyo and all over Houston.
Had a nice portfolio built up and went to a few agencies in New York one weekend and came back home. And she's like, hey, pretty much all these agencies want to take you. Where do you want to go? I was like, let's go somewhere without a redhead, number one. So I want to be their main focus. And so I've always gone with smaller boutique agencies in these major cities because I felt like I don't want to get lost in your huge board of talent. So I would always choose a smaller agency, maybe agencies that nobody knows worldwide.
Right.
But they worked for me because I got to these cities and I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked.
Right.
So I chose a smaller agency there, and New York was a whole different animal for me. And while I did work and had much success there, I also got heavier into the party scene and was missing bookings because I would be up till 4 or 5 in the morning when I had a call time at 7, and I was still in bed with my agency calling me, where are you at?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean where I'm at? What time is it? It's 9 in the morning. Your call time was 2 hours ago.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, oh.
And so at that time you're like, okay, start drinking a little more, start going out dancing out with probably the other models.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Yeah. And then you guys are just having fun and it's New York. And then 5 o'clock in the morning, you go to bed and.
That's the city that doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going. There's always something to do there.
Yeah. And so you actually missed bookings because of that. Bookings, not castings. Let's be clear. You missed bookings where someone was going to pay you probably a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it got to be a problem. And, but like I was still dealing with the loss of my mom and then not wanting to deal with it and not just numbing my emotions, but still getting through the day and working and trying to be this successful model working person. And then, but also still being sad and having to put on this happy face. So I would go out and I would just drink. Yeah. And that's how I wanted to get away.
That's how you got through it. But then also you're still young.
Yes.
So, at that age, your brain's not even fully developed. So what is it, 24 years old?
I'm not sure.
So
I don't think it's still developed.
No, that could be true. No, I'm joking. It might be true about me.
No.
I don't know about you. If you keep taking the red out of your hair, I'm going to say it's true about you. Here you are, all the success in her whole life based on this beautiful kind of more of a carrot red hair.
Yeah.
And she keeps taking it out. And every time I see her take it out, I say, what did you do?
Yeah.
I want that beautiful redhead back.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's gotten darker over the years. It's not as vibrant as it used to be. So I have to brighten it up a little again.
Well, you're beautiful any old way your hair is, but I love that the fact that you're a natural, like kind of carrot red headed person. It's just, and that's one of the reasons you work so much, because that is something that's more unique and rare. And I can't wait I'm going to have pictures up, during this. And I can't wait to show people those cute pictures from when you were so young with freckles.
Yeah. The things I got made fun of the most for was my bright red hair and being so skinny and having no chest. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, look who wants me now.
Yeah. But then I bet you were shocked, at 15 and 16, having been made fun of for those features. Yes. And then all of a sudden you're getting paid to do magazine ads and you're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. But I hear that story though from models a lot because they usually are kind of the lankier looking ones or the funnier looking ones they think.
Yeah. For sure.
Or big fat lips, and then they got made fun of and then all of a sudden they're on the cover of a magazine, which is so cool.
It is.
Or the boys didn't like you. I was so lanky, like, I don't think any boys liked me till I developed. At some point I developed and then I'm like, I don't like any of you back now. Because you didn't like me when I was skinny.
Exactly.
So then you're partying. And so what happens then? Is that makes you miss bookings and then you come back from New York? Or do you just decide at that point, okay, what happens now?
So at that point, it was, I had talked to my agents there. I'm sure they talked to my agents back home, and they're like, she needs to
Take a break.
She needs to figure it out and go home.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go home. I understand, but I didn't see a problem with it.
So you didn't quite see a problem, but obviously, I mean, when you're missing bookings, the agency is like, okay, we can see she's probably hurting or something's going on with her where she is feeling, sad enough or unhappy enough to where she's or doesn't feel these bookings are important enough to make it to. Yes, I see. Yeah. So they're basically like, it's time for her to take a little break, take a breather. Yeah. So then you say, fine. You go back to Houston.
I go home.
You come back to Houston, and then you move back in with your family again?
No, I'm living with a boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
I was with somebody whenever I was living in New York and he was still here. And we had an apartment. And then right after that, he had gotten a job in Arizona. So he and I packed up our apartment. Well, we didn't have to pack up our apartment. We had a friend stay there off and on, and he and I moved to Arizona. So for a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. And obviously I wasn't working there, but ended up coming back. He and I split. I was working here and there here in Houston, not a whole lot because the drinking was still a problem.
Right.
And
so how were you making ends meet? If the drinking was a little bit of a problem, just curious.
I did.
You were doing enough modeling to make it, or?
After he and I broke up, I did move in back with my dad.
Okay.
So, and my dad was always like, you'll always have a home here. So I love my dad. So, anywhere, if anything ever happens in my life, I know I can, Dad,
Yeah, it's your dad.
Yeah.
Plus you were still pretty young.
Yes. Yeah.
What are you now? 21, 22?
22.
Okay, so you're pretty young. Mm-hmm. Still finding your way a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you come back home and then you just start modeling a little bit.
Yeah. And I enrolled back in school.
Okay.
And, still doing just like a couple classes a semester, nothing heavy because, I was still too involved in wanting to go out. I didn't want a lot of responsibility. I was still working a little bit here and there. And then that all kind of came to an end when I was drinking 8 days a week.
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a very serious problem.
And how did I'll get to that in a second, but because I kind of know how the problem stopped, how you ended up stopping drinking, because I believe it was when you found out you were pregnant and then you stopped partying altogether. Mm-hmm. And of course, that's how it happens a lot of times with people. But I know at some point during that partying stage where you're going out with friends that you had another tragedy happen.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm not crying on this one either.
No.
Nope.
I say everything happens for a reason and to people that I feel are strong enough to handle it. Mm-hmm. And I was not the only victim in this crime. Right. A friend of mine, luckily, she wasn't as victimized during the crime because she had her wits about her. And I tend to freeze up. I shut down. I go into shock.
So Vicki and a friend were attacked by a group of people.
Yes.
Outside of your truck, correct?
Yes. She and I had been hanging out with some friends at like a bowling alley kind of family fun center, but it was in the evening. So it was adults only, the bar's open. She and I had left that center and drove back to our other friend's house that we were staying at. And before she and I could even open our car doors, somebody opened our car door and I was yanked out of the car. And it's 2 a.m. We've had some drinks.
Yeah. Not what's happening?
Yeah. The next thing I know, I'm pushed to the ground. I have a gun to the back of my head. And you can, it was a very violent
crime.
Very violent crime, sexual in nature. Mm-hmm. That still lives with me to this day, obviously, because, it affects my life still. It affects my relationship with my husband. Mm-hmm. Certain times come around during the year when I get a call from the parole board and then I'm pissed off for a week and my kids are like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, I don't want to tell you. I don't want you to know this yet in your life.
So after you guys were attacked, I know that these perpetrators were put into prison, correct? How many of them went to prison?
So there were 7 in total.
Okay.
A couple, I don't know how many days later. A few days later, they were caught. From what I remember, no.
Okay.
From what I remember, one person kind of gave everybody up, and some were not as involved with the crime as others. Maybe one was just a lookout.
Right.
There were definitely 3 that were the most aggressive.
Right, the most violent.
Yes, one is actually still in prison right now for about 8 more years.
Wow.
It was a very aggressive crime.
And so
we'll say that.
So how many of them ended up going to prison? 3 of the 7?
I want to say,
I know a group of them went.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really remember how many actually went to prison. I know one is still there. One just recently got out a couple months ago. One was on the run and got caught back in 2019. So I had to relive it. This happened in 2007.
Oh, gosh. One
was on the run from 2007 till 2019, had started a family for himself up north somewhere and somehow got caught. And
oh, wow.
Was extradited back to Texas. And
then you had to testify all over again.
It ended up, we were going to have to testify, but it ended up coming to like a plea deal or something. But they wanted to know if we wanted to sit in the courtroom and read a victim impact statement or something along those lines. And I said, I will sit in that courtroom, but I will not let you know how you hurt me.
Yeah.
I will let you look at my face and know where you're going and where I'm not going.
Right.
So I was kind of the person that was like, you're lucky you did it to me because I could handle it.
Yeah.
I think more so than somebody else. Maybe if they were the victim, if they might have been able to handle it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, I'm glad it was me and not somebody else. And in a sense.
And when anybody, violently hurts anyone in any way, the impact it has on that person's life is forever.
Forever.
And it affects your whole family.
Forever.
Your relationships with everyone. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like that moment where that person thought, oh, I'll just be a total horrible person.
Yeah.
And it's a moment, but it's not a moment.
No.
It's a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's affected, obviously, 3 or 4 of them. They went to prison.
Sure. Oh, I'm sure it's affected them all because they were children. Some of them were minors. I believe I was 23 and some of them were 17, 18.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
You just ruined your whole life.
You just went to prison.
You just ruined your whole life.
Yeah, your whole life. And then it affected their families.
Mm-hmm,
and then the one that ran away and started a family, then he's ripped from his family because of this moment that he, participated in a violent crime. Just totally just bad all the way around.
So,
well, I'm sad that happened to you, but you are so strong. And I can talk.
And so,
Give me a second.
You can talk. And sometimes that's what people are like, you show no emotion. And I'm like, look, I've been through so much that you kind of become numb at some point to it.
Yeah.
But you can't just numb the bad. A lot of times some of the good goes with it.
Yeah.
And I notice it in myself sometimes. I'm like, man, I should be happier right now. Why am I not happier? And I'm like, oh, shit, I've pushed some of the negative things down. So I think like the positive goes with it too. Like my feelings, like, I don't know. Sometimes I just like, like just get so frustrated, but I'm like, it's what I've had to go through. It's what made me the person that I am today. Yeah. And if I didn't go through these struggles and these hardships, I wouldn't be the empathetic person I am today. That if you're having a bad day, I want to have a bad day with you because I don't want you to be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's true. Everything that happens to you in your life affects moving forward, but it can affect it in a negative way, or you can take that pain and that bad moment and you can turn it into something positive. And I think you've done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and after that, it did get quite worse.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Of course. I mean, I can totally see now. I can empathize with that because that's another thing. You want to numb that pain again, right?
Yeah, that was the pain that I really wanted to numb because I was like, I've never been a why me? I have never felt sorry for myself.
Yeah.
There are a few times I have felt sorry for myself, but I am a person, I'm like, don't feel sorry for me. This is not, I can grow with it or I can die from it. Yeah. And there are days that I died from it a little bit here and there, but overall, I think I've grown from it and it's just,
Yeah, it was
It
it was something that happened, and you're strong for being able to grow from it, and you're strong for being able to move forward from it.
Yeah.
And all of that makes sense that you've become a little bit of what you said, where you feel like sometimes you push away the happy,
Yes.
but you've just to be strong and be able to get through those difficult moments that have happened in your life. You've had to do that.
Yeah.
I would have done the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Because I've known you for years and didn't know some of the things that had happened in your life. And over time, I learned some of those things and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I remember, when you told me about both of those tragedies, I'm like, what? And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how I would have handled it or how I would have handled it, because I'm pretty wimpy emotionally. I'm a strong person.
Yes, you are. You're a very strong person.
But I'm not very strong emotionally. So I can understand everything that you've said, that how you've learned to cope or what you did to cope. But now you have been sober ever since your first, you became pregnant with your first baby.
Yeah.
And never touched a drop of alcohol since.
Not a drop.
Yeah.
Not a drop. It doesn't bother me to be around it. It's kind of one of those things, I put my mind to it, it's done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with it.
But after that happened, then you probably did you drink even more because you were trying to mask the situation, and you got to a darker place before it got to a happier place. Yeah. Okay.
It's where I didn't want to be around anymore. Just everything together, not being able to talk to my mom, not wanting to talk to my sister about it, because I'm like, she's got so much to deal with. I don't want to tell her my problems. And it's also it's embarrassing, I mean, for me, it was very when somebody takes advantage of you like that, it's very personal and very I don't want to tell people these things.
Well, you've been victimized.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you're like, they took a little piece of you without your permission.
Right.
So now, it's like, you don't even know if you want people to know about it.
Exactly. Which a lot of people that I know don't know about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not something you want to go around talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, I'm Vicki. Nice to meet you. I'm a sexual assault survivor.
Yeah. Right.
But a part of me too has been like, hey, look, you've been through so many things. Why don't you talk to people?
Right.
Who need it?
Yeah. And here you are, but you're talking about it now.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it today or not. And, I asked Vicki before the show and she said, I'll talk about it. And I'm so glad you did, because a little bit of that is therapeutic.
Yes.
I believe that from the bottom of my heart. And sometimes just not getting it out and not letting it go, you're holding it all in.
Oh, that's me. I'm tense all the time.
And, maybe we just today, we did a little bit of therapy and we just, a little bit of what, that hold it had on you, you let it go.
Yeah.
Okay. We let it go just then.
Yeah,
So
we did.
So then you meet your now husband, Josh.
Yes. Yes.
And
we met at a bar.
You met at a bar. Hey, he's part of this light at the end of this.
It's
moment.
Things happen for a reason. I'm going to a bar because I want to drink, and I ended up meeting him and
dating.
Yeah, dating, and moved in with him rather quickly. And I was like, hey, can I just stay with you for a little bit? He's like, yeah, sure. And then I'm like, well, can I have a drawer?
And a key?
Yeah. So, and he and I have been together now 17 years.
Oh, wow. 17 years.
I think.
And so shortly after that, you found out you were pregnant with your first child.
About a year and a half after he and I were dating. We had talked about getting married and, having a family and things. I'm 25 at this time, almost 26. And I came home one day and I don't know if it might have been the morning or the evening. I don't remember. I opened the bathroom cabinet to get my mouthwash out, and I was like, why is there a pregnancy test under here? Josh, why is there a pregnancy test under the counter? He goes, I think you need to take it. And I was like, okay.
That's so weird. Your then boyfriend thought you needed to take a pregnancy test.
Uh-huh.
How would he even know to
I have never been a regular person whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe he noticed some body changes about me that I didn't notice myself.
That's crazy.
Because I've never been very in tune at that age with my body. And, and I guess he was more so. And he said, take it. And I took it and I went, let me take another one. We need to make a doctor's appointment and make sure these two tests are correct.
Yeah.
And then we did. And I was like, take my blood and make sure that we're sure.
Yeah.
They took my blood, tested my blood, and they're like, yes, ma'am, you're pregnant. And I went, Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and you're such a good mom.
Okay.
And she's got two of the most beautiful boys. One
Oh,
looks
thank you.
exactly like you. Like he is a gorgeous, handsome dude, but he looks exactly like his mom.
Yeah.
And he's beautiful, and he's just a mini you.
Yeah.
And then the other son looks more like your husband, Josh.
Yes.
Which is so cute.
Yeah.
You got one of each.
Right.
They're both super beautiful. And now I love that you models end up marrying these beautiful men. And by the way, I'm just going to say, all my friends are constantly like, you're too picky, Pam. Just date whoever. And I'm like, and then their husbands all model with them. Okay. So I'm picky. Meanwhile, they're married to these dudes that pass for models. So Josh now has been drug and the kids to a bunch of modeling gigs.
Yeah. Fashion shows, commercial shoots, print shoots.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Just extra money. You're like, hey guys,
for sure.
Extra money for everybody.
Yeah, kids have a college fund that they can't touch. And my little one time goes, it doesn't matter what we get paid. My mom takes our money. And I'm like, I do, but it goes away to
your future.
For you later in life. What are you going to buy at 11 years old?
Yeah. And you and Josh just did also a really beautiful shoot, and I'll show a picture of it during this, where you played a couple getting married.
Yes.
And you did it was so great because you got these free, basically, wedding pictures.
Yeah. Our wedding anniversary was just last month, and that was our 13th wedding anniversary kind of looking thing.
Right? That's a nice treat.
Gorgeous shoot. I love my friend Danny for asking us to do that. Yeah.
It's wonderful. And those pictures turned out great.
Oh my gosh, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a perk of modeling too. You get some nice, beautiful pictures of the family and your husband and anniversary pictures in a wedding gown. Those turned out so cute too. Gosh, yeah. Where were those?
Were those San Antonio?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
beautiful
nice.
Event in San Antonio.
And so now Vicki has been modeling in Houston now for the last
almost 26 years.
26 years. Yeah. But you took a little tiny hiatus after the kids, right?
Yes.
Right, to have the kids.
Yes.
And then you started back up hard, all the time after the second baby was born, correct?
Well,
you took just a little break.
Well, before I had Evan, I had kind of stopped for a little bit because, like I said, the drinking was more important. And then I'd really slowed down a lot, found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Had Evan. And then I kind of started picking back up, got married.
Yeah.
Got pregnant right away again. And I said, we tried to have him a summer baby, but he was born in February. So took a little time off and went right back to it and have been working
ever since. And Vicki
yeah.
does everything in town. So if there's a fashion show, she's in it. If there's a print job, she does it. I don't even know how she does it. Sometimes I talk to her and she's done a morning meeting somewhere, a photo shoot, a luncheon show, an informal modeling. Then she's got to go back to Tootsie's or somewhere and do another gig. And I'm like, what?
And be a sports mother on top of that.
That's right. And then she's like, I got a baseball game. I'll make it to the tail end of it up in Conroe. I'm like, okay, go girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a busy life.
It's a busy life.
It is.
And you do it all very well.
Oh, thank you, Pam.
Yeah. And you're good friends. And I'm so glad to know you. But I want to ask this. If you had to give advice to anybody going into the modeling industry, or parents, advice to parents, what advice would you give to a young person that went into modeling? Whether it's a warning, whether it's a positive advice, whatever you would tell them if you had a 16-year-old that said, I want to model, should I do it?
Yeah.
What would you tell her?
What would I say? I would tell them, I would say, as long as you have your head on and you are focused on what you're going for,
right,
then by all means do it. But if you're going thinking this is just an easy way to maybe make some money and have some fun and go to some different countries, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It really is. And like you've said before, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's keeping your body in shape. It's being in a good mood when you don't want to be in a good mood. It's a lot of mental
preparation.
It is, yeah. So,
true.
I mean, try it out.
Yeah.
And if you don't make it, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
Yeah. And what about a warning, let's say to a young person? Do you recommend, because I would recommend this, that a parent goes with them.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's no business having a 16, 17, 18-year-old even, I think, living by themselves in a house on the other side of the world. I would recommend that's not the best way to get thrown into it. Yeah. Maybe do a little bit of modeling in a local city. Yeah. And then if you really feel like you're mature enough to handle it after the age of 18, then maybe you are 19, then you go and try something out. But get your head on straight. For sure. Yeah. And like you said, know what you're going for and stay focused.
Yeah, definitely stay focused. And
because you can definitely go. I mean, I lived in a bunch of model homes. And I was always pretty, I don't want to say I'm a prude, but I was always pretty, I don't know, I wasn't a big drinker, wasn't a big partier. I loved to have fun, loved to go dancing. Yeah. But I always kind of had my head on straight that way. Yeah. But boy, did I see some crazy things going on, you know, around me.
One of the model homes that I had when I lived in New York, we didn't actually live in Manhattan. We lived on Staten Island. Oh, wow. And everybody knew about the model house on Staten Island because...
Oh, boy.
I mean, you have 17 people at a time during Fashion Week in it was a condo type thing. We had the upstairs half and there were 3 bedrooms for 17 people and bunk beds in every corner. And everybody was like, we know that house. And we're like,
you're like, you know it? And then another thing that's really gross about model apartments is sometimes there'd be 1 or 2 bathrooms and like 9 models or 10 models.
We had 1 shower and 2 toilets.
Yeah. And the boys, sorry, boys, but boys are disgusting. I mean, some of the girls are gross too, but boys at that age are so gross. Yeah. And you have to go take a shower where they showered. You got to pee where they peed. Yeah. And it can just be so nasty.
Cold shower at that.
Glamorous, right? The glamorous model life. Yeah. I mean, some of those things like people don't think about. So glamorous.
I wish, and I don't wish social media was more of a thing back then. Right. We had our phones with us all the time because I'd be like, look at what we had to endure. But then it was like, oh, look at what we did that we don't want to see.
Exactly. So there's positives about that. No social media, right?
Oh, 100%.
And then there's some not so positives. Definitely.
But yeah, definitely take somebody with you when you're a child. I do see now, like even locally, there are some younger girls who their mother comes with them. Right. A guardian or somebody will come with them. And I'm like, as it should be, because she's 14.
Exactly.
I work with girls that are my children's age and I'm just like, I'm going to watch out for them.
And I would say never let them go to a photo shoot without you.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's one of those things I just don't, I love photographers. Don't get me wrong. I've met some of my great friends are photographers, but at the same time, why would you send a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old to a photographer without you? Why would you do that? Let's not do that. And even when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, my age, and I super had my head on straight, I still would sometimes, like we talked about, be like, oh, why did I wear that? Why did I take my shirt down off my shoulder more than I wanted to, Yeah. So, but it happens. And it's the industry and people try to always tell you that too. Yeah. It's the modeling industry. You're a model. Yeah. I got that a lot. You're a model. Yeah. And then I'd be like, oh, okay. Because I'm supposed to be doing this, whatever I'm doing.
And you do think if you say no that it could hurt you. I mean, you've seen these allegations that have come out recently in the news and it was like, I understand their side of it because would I have done the same thing? I don't know. Yeah. Because you want to make it. You want to be successful. And this is a very hard business to be successful in. And I guess I'll come to your late night.
And it's not that you don't know it's odd.
It's odd.
You know it's odd. You feel it in your gut. You just don't know that it's not part of the industry. Exactly. So it's more like you're going, okay, I don't want to be the dummy that says, wait, do I have to do that? Do I have to go there? Is that normal? You want to be cool because you don't want to rock the boat because like you said, you want to be successful. Yeah. So it's not like you feel like you have to do something in order to not be successful, but you don't know that asking questions and it makes you sound stupid. Yeah. So you don't want to feel stupid. So you're like, oh yeah, okay, this is how they do it in Milan. This is how they do it in Paris. This is how they do it. And you just kind of try to go with the flow. Yeah. And sometimes that flow is not right.
Not the right path. Yeah.
No, it's not right. Yeah, somebody is taking advantage of you. You are doing something that's not really couth.
Right. Yeah.
Or correct at that hour. So I know you've worked with a lot of big designers. We work with big designers that come through Houston all the time. Yeah. Can you think of a really exciting, there's exciting stuff we get to do. Yeah. And we get on this podcast and I feel like I've talked to all the girls and I forget to say, we meet some cool designer every week.
I know. Yeah.
And every year and every month there's some big designer that comes through town and Vicki does all those designer shows and it's exciting. And that's one really exciting part about this industry. Like we had a big designer, 2 or 3 big designer shows last month.
Yeah.
Come through and you were in all the shows.
Yeah. It's fun. Jenny Packham. She dresses British royalty, and
Yeah.
everybody loves Jenny Packham and
Of
knows
course,
her
yeah.
glittery, beautiful gowns and
Uh-huh.
wearing her shows and meeting her. She's such a sweet lady.
Sweetheart.
And, like, these people, like, you build them up so much and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you're just a person. You're
Yeah,
just a sweet
but they're dressing, they're dressing the
Yeah.
queens. They're dressing,
Yeah.
royalty.
Mhm.
And then, we just did a little fashion show yesterday, and they're like, oh, we discovered her clothes because Edeline Lee,
Oh,
and she
yeah?
was there, and because she dressed, I'm the worst. She's Kate Middleton.
Oh, did she?
And they're
Okay.
like, that's where they saw the clothes and wanted to have the
Nice.
clothes in the store. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, this is really a fascinating world
It
that we live in
is.
because of the opportunities that we have.
Uh-huh.
And this is this week.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah,
like
this is just
last
this week.
Exactly.
Today I worked with a designer, Christian from the line Achenboss, and I
Okay.
mean, sweetest guy ever. Sit there and just talk to us while we were up on our podiums, and I was like, I like this dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, not at this age. When I was younger, I would have been so terrified to speak to these people because
Yeah.
I would think, oh my gosh, they're so important. And I'm like,
Right.
it's just a person just like I am. Hey, what's up? What are you having for lunch?
Exactly. But it is it's a privilege in the
Yeah.
sense that there's so many people that don't get to meet these amazing designers, these talented designers that are artists.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
we
yeah.
get to meet the jewelry designers. We get to meet
Yes.
shoe designers. We get to meet
Mhm.
bag designers
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And that is one of the really cool
Yeah.
things about this business, because you can go to a store your whole life and women go and they love a designer.
Yeah.
But we've got to meet them and
Yeah.
talk to them and,
Uh-huh.
and spend time with them
Yes.
and have dinners with them.
Yeah.
And so that's
It's special.
yeah,
it's
it
really
is.
special.
That's a blessing.
You look out, if you're outside of your life looking in, and which I've thought about it so many times in my life, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
this is cool. There could be much more difficult ways to live a life. I
Yeah.
think I'm pretty blessed, and
It's a huge blessing, and I
Yeah.
don't realize it until I'm talking to other
Yeah.
friends too. And then sometimes they're like, "What? You did what? That's so cool! Write it down in a book. What did you do?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, is it cool? That's cool.
It's
Yeah,
pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually is.
yeah." And that's one of the things we have to remind ourselves of, because during the schlepping
Yeah.
and the exhaustion, and you've got 4 jobs in one day,
Yeah.
you know what? That is a blessed life. I
Yeah,
have a
it
good
really is.
life. We've made a good living at it.
With
and
my friends.
that's right, and the friendships.
Come visit my friends.
That's the coolest part about it all.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else, anything horrible that's ever happened to you on the runway? Have you ever fallen on the runway?
Knock on some wood.
Stop.
I have never, I've maybe tripped a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe stumbled, but I've never fallen to the ground.
Vicki McCarty.
And now that I just said that, it'll happen. It will
I'll be
happen.
watching for it
I
now.
know it. I think we got a couple shows
Yeah,
next week.
that's right. A couple of shows next week. Let's see if you slip down. I'm going to be watching for it. I'm going to be like, "Ooh."
I know. There was a show.
There's got to be one that happens in your life.
There was a show. When I was living in Paris, we had to take the train to Lucerne, Switzerland for some hair shows. And this venue that we were in was huge. I remember looking back, when you're on the runway and you have all these bright lights in your face,
Yeah.
you can't see the audience, which
No.
makes it a lot more bearable.
Yeah. Or the edge of the runway sometimes.
Or the
though.
edge of the runway sometimes. I was walking down this runway. It was a long, straight runway. I couldn't tell you how long it was, but I remember the size of the room was massive. So, and it's all about hair. So I have this amazing hair design, right? Next thing I know, my shirt is just falling, and I'm not going to pick it up because that isn't cool, right? I get to the end of the runway, and boom, I went, did my pose, turned around and went off, and I was mortified
Of course.
that my boob had fallen out in all these people and all these spotlights on me, and I was like, how embarrassing.
You're so funny. You're mortified. And then we see fashion shows all the time where it's the shears.
Yeah, and
And
now, yes.
yeah,
Oh my
right.
gosh, now it's no big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Well,
at
you
that
were
time,
young.
I was like, my whole shirt just fell down, and
I've exposed my boob.
yeah, and
Yeah.
now it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I think we've all exposed our boobs at some point in time.
Yeah.
But it is horrifying.
Yeah, 18 years old, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's for me.
The whole world saw my boob, but it's
So-
nice that you just slowly put it up. You
Yeah.
could have reacted really in a horrible way.
Because I know we've all seen
Yeah.
the runway bloopers where
Oh, yeah.
girls you just figure out a way to make it look nice and just like it never happened, and
Yeah. And sometimes, they just fall on your butt.
yeah.
Yeah. I fell on my butt once and I couldn't get back up.
Your dress too tight or something?
The dress was too short and tight, and my heels were like platforms. And I just remember laying there, like trying to get up,
Like a turtle, rocking.
like if my legs were up, my crotch was out. It was so funny. The audience next to me was like, you know,
and it's the gasp from the audience.
Yeah, it was the gasp
when they go.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm done. This is it for me.
Yeah, I just kind of like put my knees together and kind of went up on my knees and stood up. I was like, yay.
And that's it for me. Nice knowing you all.
I'll never work again. Bye-bye.
But it's the way that you recover. I think that clients are really like, yeah, she's got it. She can handle it.
Yeah, that's
She can
true.
handle mishaps. So,
well, I could talk to you all night about all this stuff because, again, Vicki works constantly and we do so many cool things. And I actually will see you next week on the runway or backstage or somewhere.
I got to look at my calendar.
Yeah, me too.
What are you doing tomorrow?
It's all a blur.
Hang on. I don't know.
What 4 things is Vicki doing tomorrow?
Oh my gosh. And it's with the kids too. I mean, we all have I have a whiteboard in the back. Of the house when the boys are like, Mom, when is I'm like, the board.
The board.
Go check the board.
Go to the board, check the board.
It ain't here. It's on the board. I'm a visual.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. I'm going to enjoy talking to everybody that comes on this show, but I really was looking forward to talking to you because I think you're just like the coolest chick. One of the strongest women I've ever met in my life. And I just really enjoy you. You are funny and I have a good time with you backstage. Yeah. But I also am so glad that you came on this and you shared not just about your modeling career, because we could literally do another podcast where we may do that again, where we just talk about all the flipping cool stuff you've done in your life.
For sure.
But I really wanted people to know that just because you're a beautiful person and a beautiful face, it doesn't mean that you've had this perfect life.
No. Not in the least bit.
Right? It doesn't mean you drive a fancy car or you're rich.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's far from the truth, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted them to know that these beautiful models that have made it a living at modeling also have had to go through hardships, just like everybody else.
Just because what you do for a living doesn't shield you from life's
life's troubles.
Yeah.
But the fact that you came on and you opened up and you talked about this is huge. Yeah. And I appreciate you doing that. And I think it's going to be important to a lot of people at home listening to not just the warnings about modeling, but also that you can go through some deep struggles in your life and come out on top.
Yeah, definitely.
Way on top.
Definitely. Oh, thank you, Pam.
Yeah, I adore you.
I love you, Pammy.
I love you too. Thanks for coming on. You'll have to come back.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do it.
I'll see you next week backstage somewhere in town.